The silent killer of hybrid teams, proximity bias. 78% of remote workers fear being passed over for promotions, and they're right. And can you blame them? You've heard me talk about in previous videos about the importance of proximity, the difference between obviously being in person and being in virtual situations. You can see people's facial expressions. You can kind of get a feel for their being, where their head's at, and so on and so forth. And you're at a great disadvantage if you're doing this virtually. So if you have remote workers who are all over the world, unless they're talking to you on a daily basis where they can actually see a face via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or what have you, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get a sense of what type of person you are. And you, being a leader, you're going to have that much more difficult time in conveying that unless you put in some mechanisms in place. All right, so we're going to talk about what we're going to do to fix proximity bias. So what are the 4 warning signs in your team that this is taking place? Do you even know this is taking place? Do you have any mechanisms in place where this is taking place? I have been in countless meetings where people coming in, leaders, managers, what have you, will come in and they just start talking and talking and talking, and they have absolutely no ability to read the room, whether it's virtual or if it's in person. And that's I guess you could say, the quintessential failure right there. How many times when those meetings take place and afterwards, you and your coworkers are sitting there like, man, this guy's clueless, or this gal is clueless, or whatever. We don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. And the reason why you're watching this video is you want to prevent that from happening. So here are the 4 warning signs that this may be taking place in your team. Impromptu decisions. Quick office chats become major decisions without remote input. How often does that happen? If this is happening in your team where quick office chats are taking place and next thing you know, a decision is made, that's not going to do well for you. All right, it's not going to bode well for you. Feedback inequality. Remote employees receive less frequent and lower quality feedback. Remember how we talked about 78% feel like they're going to get passed over for a promotion? Well, if they're not getting frequent feedback, high quality feedback, if they don't feel like they're a part of the team, you're going to be in a great disadvantage. All right. So make sure that you have feedback that's equal across the board. So if you need to do it via Zoom, Microsoft Teams, like I mentioned before, make sure you're doing that. All right. The visibility gap. High-profile projects consistently go to in-office staff. Okay. I know, again, like I mentioned, the advantage of being in person is that you got that proximity and so on. The way you make up for that is to make sure that the projects that are going out are equal. It's not, heavy-handed in one direction or another. Just because I live in a different part of the country, or if I live in another country, but the value that I bring to the table is equal or of greater, use than somebody who's in the office, it should reflect that. Okay, you should have a culture that reflects that. Mentor neglect. Out of sight, out of mind. We've all heard that expression before too. All right. Mentoring leaves remote workers behind. It's just the truth. It's easy to, walk down the hall and say, hey, you know what? John, let's have this conversation about something real quick. I want to talk to you something that just, I just saw 2 seconds ago, or something that just came top of mind. Make sure that mentoring is across the board equal. Okay. Because if it's not, you're going to have a problem. All right, so here's the toolkit for my leaders watching this video to bias-proof yourself and to bias-proof any type of issues with leading a hybrid team. All right, first things first, decision audits. Apply the who wasn't there or who wasn't here rule. What does that mean? Whenever decisions made, hybrid, in person, what have you, Make sure the person or persons in the room is documented and the persons not in the room documented too. Why? How many times have we seen this? Why did they make that decision? I never agreed to that. I would never agree. Okay, well, were you not there because you chose not to be a part of this meeting? Were you not there because you weren't told of this meeting? Were you not? So whatever those reasons are, okay, you can put, again, a mechanism in place. If it was something that was done in the office without any input from anybody virtually, now you got to fix something there so that everybody gets an equal voice, equal say in those decision makings or in those makings of decisions. A digital first default. All updates in shared hub before discussion. Before you have any discussion on anything, there's got to be whatever documents in play in a place where everybody can look at it, digest it, feel it, touch it, go through it, sleep on it, what have you, before the discussion takes place. This way, everybody comes to the meeting prepared. Everybody's going to feel like they have a voice and they're not feeling left out because they're 2 time zones away or what have you. Okay. So make sure you have a digital first type default where, whatever software you use, everybody can go there, take a look at it, talk, maybe even amongst themselves before, you guys have that meeting so that when that discussion takes place, everybody is well aware of what's going on. Third thing you want to do, promotion scorecards. So you want to make sure you're tracking those objective criterias quarterly, okay? I know that some people like to do it twice a year, maybe once a year because, evals are, so much work. I get it. I totally understand it. But if you want to be the best version of yourself, if you want to be that leader, okay, for some of you guys who I've been talking to, if you're trying to get into that C-suite, you got to make sure you're checking those objective criterias quarterly. All right. So you do that, you're going to put the person that you're working with in a much better spot. All right. Fourth thing you want to do, bias buddy system. Establish a peer accountability partners. Before you do something, whatever, if it's a decision that you're making or, whatever your duties are, make sure you have somebody that you can bounce things off of. Hey, you know what? Cindy, am I doing this right? Does this look right to you? What am I missing? Do I have a blind spot? Et cetera, et cetera. Doing so is going to make you a better leader. It's going to bias proof yourself and your team, when you have those hybrid situations, whether you're leading the team virtually or in person I should say, because again, leading a hybrid team is not easy. Okay. But it doesn't mean you still can't be as effective and efficient as if you were just running a team in person. All right. So you want to bias proof your leader. You want your bias proof leader toolkit to look like this: decision audits, decision first defaults, promotional scorecards, and bias buddy systems. All right. I'm Dr. Obed Magni. If you are trying to get into that C-suite, if you are looking to accelerate in your career, if you're looking to be the best version of yourself, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe this YouTube channel. I thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you soon.